What's good, my people? Welcome back to EMGM Sports. It's your boy Enzo. I hope everyone is having a good day. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta signed a new 3-year contract at the club. It will keep him there until 2027. Now, my question is, does Mikel Arteta deserve a new contract at Arsenal? Of course he does. That's a silly question by me. I'm just joking around. I'm messing with you. Of course, Mikel Arteta deserves his new contract. Look, Arteta's been there since 2019, so it's been coming up to like five years at the club. So for me, Mikel Arteta, he's won what, one trophy. He's won the FA Cup. That was during the lockdown year. So he's won the FA Cup, one trophy in 5 years. For me, it's all right because from where Mikel Arteta picked up Arsenal, where Arsenal were, the team was performing terrible on the pitch. The whole club was down. Do you know what I mean? The atmosphere, the mood of the club, it was bad. Do you know what I mean? So when Mikel Arteta came in, took over, look, he did struggle in the beginning. I think he finished eighth twice. But in the last two seasons, he's really picked it up, and everyone has seen the progression of not only off the pitch, but also on the pitch, the style of play. He's been able to bring on new players. Do you know what I mean? Younger, fresher players. Bukayo Saka is performing. Martin Odegaard is performing. They spent £100 million on Declan Rice. So, Saliba at the back is performing great. So they're doing well. Do you know what I mean? The club have backed Mikel Arteta. They've given him the resources. They've given him everything to go on and be successful at the club. And also, Mikel Arteta himself, he said he feels loved at Arsenal. He feels respected. And, just as an observer, someone from the outside looking in, that I feel like that's the mood within the club, with the fans. He's got that connection with the fans. And to be honest, it's going well for Mikel Arteta. The only big question mark on him now is he has to deliver the title. Do you know what I mean? Like, under Mikel Arteta, since he's been there, he can't even say they haven't backed him financially because Mikel Arteta has spent £700 million. Yeah. He's now the second biggest earner in terms of managers. He's behind Pep Guardiola, as the highest earner in the Premier League. So he really has to deliver. Now, Arsenal fans, like I said, they love Mikel Arteta. They'll support him. They'll back him till the end. But it will come a time when he has to deliver. If not, he will be under pressure to deliver a title. Now, the last two seasons, they've come close to City, which is not easy. We even saw under Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp was at Liverpool for 8-9 years and he only won one title. And that's because that power, the juggernaut, the mighty Manchester City, sorry, and Pep Guardiola were around that time that they stopped Liverpool winning a couple of titles, because that Liverpool team with Sadio Mane, Firmino, Salah at the front, they were magnificent. You know what I mean? They were just a very talented, well-oiled machine team, but they still couldn't get close enough to beat City to the title. And Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are in exactly the same position, same situation as Liverpool were a couple of seasons ago, coming second to Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. And Pep Guardiola, Manchester City, they don't look like they're going to rest on their morals. They don't look like they're just going to lay down and let Arsenal have it all their own way. Manchester City have won the title 4 years in a row. They're hungry. And at the start of this season, they've won all 3 games. Haaland banging in hat-tricks. Pep Guardiola himself looks rejuvenated, even though City haven't spent too much on the transfer market, but they still look like a solid team. And City normally start off bad, but this season they've started strong. And it's Arsenal actually who have stumbled. So Arsenal have up now already playing catch up to Manchester City. Now, Mikel Arteta, he's got this opportunity this season to make amends for the wrongs that he's done in the last 2 seasons. Finishing, I think they finished 2 points, behind Man City last season. The season before was 5 points. Now, that season where they finished 5 points behind Man City, I think everyone said Arsenal bottled it. Yeah, and we all agree they kind of bottled that season. They didn't have that self-belief to go on and win the league that season. Manchester City chased them down and caught them. And do you know what I mean? At the end of that season, it kind of looked easy for City, but Arsenal did lead the table for a very long time that season. Now, last season, much better. They got much closer to Manchester City, but again, a few stumbles at home against Aston Villa really cost them the title. So I'm sure Mikel Arteta has learned from those experiences, and this season he really wants to go for it. But he's got some tough away fixtures coming up. First of all, the North London derby against their arch rivals, Tottenham, at the Tottenham Stadium on Sunday. Then the week after, they've got Manchester City away at the Etihad. So come the game against Manchester City at the Etihad, Arsenal can find themselves easily what? There could be 8 points, 9 points behind Manchester City. And that's a big gap to close, especially with the likes of Martin Odegaard, who's injured. He got injured during the international break, and Declan Rice, who picked up a red card, so he's suspended. They can't call up on him, but Arsenal have signed, Raheem Sterling. Would Mikel Arteta then utilize him for these next two big games coming up, especially away from home? He has to come up with some form of tactic, formation to make sure that Arsenal are solid, but also Arsenal can still go forward and create and score goals, because they're definitely going to have to do that on Sunday against Tottenham, because Tottenham are, they're going to be, high in confidence. They're going to feel like with a few players missing for Arsenal, they're going to get the confidence that they're going to believe that they can win that game. So it's going to be a tough game for Arsenal on Sunday. If they can come away from that game with a point or even a win, it'll be great. But it's looking like Tottenham are slightly favoured, especially with the injuries and the suspensions for Arsenal. Now, Mikel Arteta, he's got this new contract, like I said in the beginning, well deserved, but he's going to be, he's been here 5 years now at Arsenal. He's going to have to deliver at some point. He's going to be, by the time his contract expires at Arsenal, he's going to be almost, I think, coming up to 8 years, 9 years. And if he hasn't won the league or anything by then, I think obviously the pressure will be mounting. And, Arsenal, the fans and the board, the ownership, they could be looking at elsewhere, because by that time, really, people would have expected Mikel Arteta to at least win the Premier League, because obviously Arsenal have already spent a lot of money. For me, it was a mistake for them not to bring in a striker, someone like Ivan Toney, at this window. For me, it was a mistake, because they could do with a striker. Kai Havertz, he is scoring goals, is in better form. However, you can't rely on Kai Havertz to get you 20 to 25 goals a season. Gabriel Jesus is injury prone, and also he doesn't score 20 to 25 goals a season. He might get you 8 or 9 or whatever, but no more than that. And also, they don't have Nketiah no more. He's left the club, so they don't even have a backup striker, So Arsenal are really short up front. So Mikel Arteta will have to come up with a different formula to try and get results. And for me personally, looking at Arsenal this season, I know they've made a few signings in the midfield and at the back, but I just feel like they're very light, man. I feel like they're light. And, these injuries to Odegaard and the suspension to Rice, has kind of rattled them. And it shows that I feel like they should have made a bit more signings just to keep up with Manchester City, because Manchester City is well old. The season, they know exactly what they're doing, and they've started the season superbly. So Arsenal already playing catch up. I feel like they should have strengthened the squad a little bit more, especially up front, by getting a top elite striker, which they didn't. At the end of the day, they're going to have to deal with it. But Mikel Arteta, well-deserved contract. He's done well. He's rejuvenated the club. The club was, on a downer, especially when Emery came in, Arsene Wenger left, and, they were struggling. They were struggling badly. The fans were disillusioned. They were protest against the owners, etc., etc. Mikel Arteta came in, got the house in order, got rid of some of the dead wood, got rid of some of the ill-disciplined players such as Aubameyang, Ozil. He dealt with those players. He recruited new players, brought in some younger players. Bukayo Saka is in the team. Reintroduce Saliba into the team. So Arsenal looking solid, and you have to give praise where it's due. In terms of the playing style of Arsenal, they're playing great football. I enjoy watching Arsenal whenever they take to the pitch. I look forward to their games. And and that's all because of Mikel Arteta changing the culture at the club and everything like that. So I think because of everything I just mentioned, the Arsenal fans, the hierarchy, the owners, they will give him time. I don't think Mikel Arteta, even after signing this new deal, I don't think he's going to be, under pressure straight away from the fans to win the league. However, the longer it goes on and they're not winning anything, especially if they don't win any trophies, like if they don't win the FA Cup or if they don't win no trophies, they keep going trophyless and finishing second. By the way, finishing second, it is good. It shows that, you're competing in a league and everything like that. And Arsenal fans, one thing they cried out for years is that they wanted to compete for the league. So they are competing now for the league year in, year out. But if they're not winning any trophies, yeah, and if they're not, and if they're not winning any trophy, like I said, if they're not winning the league, if they're not getting deeper into the Champions League, then those frustrations, some of those little voices will start creeping in, and people will be looking at Mikel Arteta and thinking, you know what? Is he really the guy? Like, is he really the guy to take Arsenal back to that promised land and bring them their first title in 20 years? So, but for now, like I said, he's loved by the club. He's well respected. They're gonna give him all the time in the world. He's built the club back up again. They're competing for the league. So he's the guy there. He's the boss. He's in charge, and whatever he says goes. For now, he's fine. But one or two more seasons, if there's still no winning, then some of those fans might start just to turn on Mikel Arteta. So yeah, man, congratulations to Mikel Arteta. Well done. Got a new contract, second highest paid manager in the league. Hey, pop the champagne, and yeah, listen, Arsenal fans are happy about it, so that's all that matters. But let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Mikel Arteta deserves this new contract, making him the second highest paid manager in the league? And how long do you think Mikel Arteta will take to win the league? Do you think he'll win it this season, or Manchester City just too strong? Let me know in the comments. I'll really appreciate if you get involved. Also, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I'll really appreciate it. Until the next time, peace.